And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Interlude Media, spelled out right, NTRLD_media. I'm your host, Nick DeSantis. You might know me as Nicky Nicknames, though, and I'm joined today by my co-host, the man who's always here and holding it down on the ones and twos. Please welcome in Todd Roshong. But you might be like, Nick T, who's that? And I'll tell you what, you might know is T. Rowe Price. And because we call him T. Rowe Price because he understands return on the investment, folks. And that's a little nickname for you. And if I give you a nickname, it's truly a nickname. So that's how it goes down. And this right here is the Interlude Pod, the Idea to an Idea podcast, where two friends are just chopping it up regarding the latest news you didn't know you needed to know, with the goal of teaching you something new and us how to run a podcast. And folks, I would be remiss if I don't mention that each one of these episodes is mixed, mastered, edited, and produced by none other than One Sound Productions. Thank you for joining us. T, take it away with the agenda now.
Welcome in, folks. Lucky number 13 episode that we got coming up for you right now. As always, we kick things off with a little bit of this just interlude, a couple little items
yes, sir.
going on around the world, and then we're gonna go. We got a pretty good update coming for the folks here who don't know. In our spins and flips section, some donuts that got spun this past weekend, some pages that got flipped. And that's going to take us straight into our fan mail for this week. After that, folks, Nicky Nicknames has some parting inspiration, but I missed something in between. I forget what I skipped out on in the agenda, but that's okay. I think we're going to cover everything, whether I mention it right now or not. We're off to a hot start, Nick. What do you say?
I think that's good right there.
All right. Well, with that said,
That's okay. It's episode 13, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, we're still getting the groove. Maybe it's unlucky number 13. Maybe I had it mistaken.
That's right. You know, actually, I wanna speak on that real quick. I was in shout out Keefan one time. I was in Keefan's building last night, checking out his apartment for the first time. Homeboy's on like level 16 or something like that of the building. 12, 14. Like,
They skip number 13, huh? So here's one thing I do know.
It's normal, but why?
I was going to say, the one thing I do know, not necessarily about apartment buildings, but I imagine that it's true in apartment buildings because it's true in office buildings throughout New York City, is that there are floors that are dedicated to maintenance, especially once you get high enough up. Like the whole point of that floor is just so that they have the equipment there if they need to service the elevators or anything like that. So I imagine in this particular building, floor 13 is a maintenance level. And like you need a special key card access to be able to get off the elevator there, but otherwise residentially, it just skips from 12 to 14.
I don't know. Maybe there's a separate elevator, but the button is 12 to 14. Like there's no button for 13. Like 13 is purposely not written, which you see that a lot. And I just think that is absolutely ridiculous, you know.
That we're just skipping numbers.
It's a number. Why, it's just a number. I mean, why, even if it represents death or devil, whatever you want, it's still a number.
I don't know if it's anything to do with that, but apparently number 13.
Nor do I. I'm just saying.
Put me off to a bad start for our episode today because I completely botched the agenda. Maybe it does have some bad,
we should have
juju going with number 13. Maybe we should skip it too. We're going to label this number episode 14, folks.
This is I like that. This is episode 14. We'll just, hey, if everyone did that, dude, you would have so many more
if
things
everyone
on your
did
plate,
that,
you know?
It's true.
Right.
And if everyone did that, would the number 13 actually cease to exist if everyone just skipped it?
It's kind of ridiculous. And you know what I might do? Next time I have a salary negotiation, if they try to, give me a salary with 13 in it, I might just say, hey, I don't really agree with that. I think it has to be 14 for theoretical purposes. And see how that goes. You might as well.
That's a negotiation that you're probably going to be able to win that one because it's probably not a major percentage point that you're talking about from 13 to 14. I don't know. I mean, there are people who are very dedicated to their numbers and their salaries. Take Sidney Crosby, for example.
Who could that
Sidney Crosby, he's a Pittsburgh Penguins legend. He wears number
Yeah, shut
87.
up,
Number
Cross.
87 is going to get retired in that organization as soon as he retires. Um, he only takes his contract in the numbers 87. So like he could
That's
make
ridiculous. I didn't know
he
that.
could he could make $9 million a year, but he's like, no, I want to be paid 8.7 because he wants to get paid 87. It's kind of hilarious, actually.
That's crazy, bro. That's like the kids these days, except instead of a 6, he has an 8.
We're not gonna go there.
That's
We're gonna get
crazy.
over. We're gonna take things straight into our "This Just In" section before we start diving down a rabbit hole that we really shouldn't go down. Things that need to get swept off the rug, including that conversation that we were
Oh, this
about
is
to
good.
have.
That was good. That was good.
The Roomba, dude. Makers of the Roomba iRobot have officially filed for bankruptcy. So all of the world's, I guess especially the United States, everyone's favorite robotic vacuum is ceasing to exist.
Good night.
Good night.
Hey, what a great idea this was. I don't really understand how this is failing. So I robot, y'all gotta suck as a company, man.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Robot vacuums are not failing, but iRobot failed because they're getting taken over in US market share by Asian producers who come in at a lower cost is really what it comes down
Oh,
to.
checks
So
out. Everything
they're
makes
just
sense
getting
now.
they're getting undercut in the market. Now granted, iRobot, most of their production was already taking place in China anyway. So when
Right.
they filed for bankruptcy, they basically are liquidating their US holdings and are just selling them over to their Chinese counterpart, and they're just going to cancel all of the debt that the US company owes that Chinese manufacturer, and then they're just taking over like all of the iRobot IP, I guess. By
I
the
see.
sounds of things,
So nothing's changing.
well, no, from my gut reaction, the Roomba will no longer be for sale. Like that product is going to get completely
Right.
liquidated and sold out. And then
But they have
whatever
their own.
they have their own robot vacuums. So they're still available. They can still be purchased and they can still sweep up all your crumbs, all your dog fur, cat fur, whatever it might be. The robot can still take care of that for you, but it just will not have the name Roomba on it going forward.
Mm. So that's what I have to say. When I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
I had to mow the lawn.
Yeah,
Mow
absolutely.
the lawn.
That's one of the
And
best
I
parts
saw
about
these.
summer, honestly.
Hey, yo,
Bro, I love
what?
you calling that a hot take right there? Dude, I love mowing the lawn. I wish I had a lawn. I live in an apartment. I got no grass around me. Dude, I wish I could just go outside, put some headphones in, cut some patterns in the grass. I'm gonna be that dad in the neighborhood when I grow up. I love mowing the lawn, dude.
That was the most ones and twos thing I've ever heard. Yo, I like the lawn cut. Now that was
Absolutely,
crazy.
dude. You never cut it the
That was
same direction 2
crazy.
weeks in a row, dude? No. You cut it front to back one time, you cut it side to side the next time, you go diagonal the next time. That's how you get the nice patterns. That's how you get the grass grains growing all the same directions. Dude, I got the lawn care stuff down pat. I just need a house first.
That was crazy. That was not where I was expecting this to go.
All
Point
right,
being,
well,
when I was
you
younger, I
continue.
had a beautiful idea. A beautiful idea.
Mhm.
Because no one likes mowing the lawn. All right. Except for T. Rowe Price over here.
That's
Okay.
right.
No one likes mowing the lawn. And I said, why don't we have the Roomba,
Mhm.
but for the grass?
Yeah.
For the grass. It'll go
Sure.
out there, it'll take care, it'll come back, and you don't have to worry about it. Okay. This was prime. What? I don't even know. 2012. Whenever Dak Prescott entered the league, around
Mm.
that time. Okay.
Okay.
Here's the deal. The quarterback before Dak Prescott for the Dallas Cowboys was a guy named Tony Romo.
That's right.
Shit. The robotic lawnmower, the Romo. I said, we're set.
Mm.
We're gonna make the Romo. We're gonna put Tony on every commercial. Now, this guy was either he was the quarterback or he was transitioning to the booth. Big time name. Tony Romo is going to promote the thing. Okay. I'm walking on the probably biking on the pipeline one day behind my house over there in Woodinville. Roll up on a big horse farm. Assholes got the robotic lawnmowers rolling. So someone took my idea. So I go over there. I hop the fence to go look at the joint. Guess what the name?
Roomba.
Robo-Mo.
Robo-Mo? That's a miss, dude.
The Robo-Mo. Bro, the Robo-Mo. You fumbled the bag.
That's a huge
So
miss.
badly. You
You're
fumbled the bag more than
absolutely
Romo did
right.
when he was trying to hold the kick. Remember that?
Yeah, that was
That's a
bad.
deep cut.
That was a
Playoff
deep
kick.
cut.
He fumbled
But
more than
hey,
that.
fuck Dallas.
Bro, you could call it the Romo. They called it the Robo-Mo? Bro, the Romo.
You're absolutely right.
I had it.
It
I
was a
had the idea,
layup.
bro.
It was a layup of having like who your celebrity influencer is going to be, to have Tony Romo on the commercials, to have
But Romo sounds
the
better than Robo-Mo.
oh, absolutely. You could have the Romo go out there on the football field and cut the grass and film the commercials,
Oh,
dude. You could.
yeah, right.
It would have been so
Right.
good, dude. So good.
Right.
I hear
But then
you.
they got these assholes who like to cut the grass, apparently. So I don't know what.
Yeah, there are some of us out there. We're few and far between, I guess, but it is what it is. Well, listen, if Roomba is going out of business, if Roomba's never going to be seen on the floors again, hopefully Robomo will never be seen on the lawns again,
Yeah,
because
you're right. Maybe they'll make
that
the
was a
Romo.
miss. I'm not
Yep,
normally one to have unwell wishes on others, but the Robomo seems like they got it coming for them anyway. So
I agree. I'm cool with that. Hey, but look, I also have an idea to bring down the Robomo, folks. Because look, we're a solutions-based company. This
mhm.
podcast as a service, as T likes to call it. Here's the deal: the man on the ones and twos right now, the other dude on this podcast wants to mow your lawn. All right, and we don't want to see any Robomos out there. Hire the boy,
Mm-mm.
employ the boy, employ him.
Absolutely.
Yo, you want a nice? You already heard him talk about it. He ain't even using Scott's. This is Todd's lawn mower. He ain't even using Scott's. Your grass is gonna be greener than the Irish flag. He ain't even using the Scott's. Boom. That's what it is.
That's what we like to hear. We are
That's what it
available.
is. Hire Todd real quick.
Open for booking.
I don't know if you can. I won't mow your lawn. I could talk to you for 40 minutes or whatever.
That's that. That's it. That is the service. You don't have to
As
mow
the
your lawn.
entertainment.
Somebody else
Right.
mows it for you, and you get entertained. That's right. This is how
Mm.
we are. This is how the
Damn.
dynamic
Yeah,
duo
this is
comes to
good. This is
fruition.
good. I got to figure out how I will entertain, but we'll come to that conclusion later.
Well,
Hire us.
speaking of entertainment, though, yeah, you could
Robomo,
hire us.
sponsor the pod.
Yeah,
Sponsor the pod.
maybe. Well, so while we got somebody out there cutting the lawn, me, and somebody else inside doing the entertaining, you, here's a new way that we could do that entertainment. I don't know if you've seen
Give
this.
it
I
to
don't know
me.
if you heard of this. So, as you could probably imagine, here in the United States, buying video games for kids is a pretty common Christmas present. And in
Okay.
particular, when it
Yeah.
comes to
Facts.
consoles, right, the Xbox and the PlayStation, they kind of dominate the market share in terms of
Mm,
video games, right? But I
heard
think a
that.
lot of people, if anybody is kind of plugged into the video game world, I think if you asked a lot of people, they would say, oh, number three must be the Nintendo Switch, right?
Easy.
Wrong. According to data coming in for this Christmas, there's a new console. It's called the Nex Playground. That's Nex. Nex. It's called the
Next?
Nex. Yeah,
No,
it's called the Nex Playground, and this
too
thing is
old.
it's a $250, so it's pretty cheap, all like grand scheme of things. Two hundred
Cheap.
and fifty
What's the
dollars.
PS5?
Those things are like $600, dude.
Oh, for real? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's $250, and it's a little cube, and it sits in front of the TV, and it's got no remotes, it's got no buttons, it's got no joysticks. It's got a
Right.
camera in there, and you control it with your body movements. So it's letting kids play video
Oh,
games, but they got to get up and get off the couch in order to
the
actually
Xbox
play.
Connect.
It's kind of like the
Remember
Xbox
that?
Connect. But dude,
When you're on
hello.
the river and you
Okay,
like jump the
sure.
log.
You could do the Xbox Connect, but what did we have even before the Xbox Connect, dude? We had the Wii. The Wii got you up and
Oh,
moving.
hey,
Dude, the Wii,
I'm not gonna
it
get
was
religious for the
so
folks,
good.
but a little sign of the cross, R.I.P.
Bring it
R.I.P. to
back,
Wii
dude.
one time.
We got to
R.I.P.
bring
to
the
Wii.
Wii back. I mean, the good news is that there are still now the Wii. I don't know. We'd have to do some real time market research here. I don't know when the Wii came out. That thing came out decades ago. At this point, it feels like, but there are so many Wii consoles that are still in perfect working condition all these years later.
People love it.
Products today aren't made to last like they were back then.
But people also just like, and there's obviously a nostalgia factor, but they love the game. And the graphics aren't even that good, but people always will come back to the Wii. Always.
Absolutely. How could you
I
not
can't
love
tell
it,
you.
dude?
Yeah, but like, how many people are coming back to the PS3 or the OG Xbox in them? Like, no.
You're not, and I think part of the reason why you're not is because those consoles offer like legacy games on the new consoles, right? They rebooted Modern Warfare 2 so that you can play it on the latest consoles and whatever. So you don't need to go back to
Okay.
the PS3 for those good old days, I guess. But the Wii has so much staying power in and of itself, largely because there are so many games on there that can't be carried over. Wii Sports, it's in the name, dude. It's only on the Wii. Wii Sports
Right,
Resort if you
right,
want to go
right.
paragliding or play golf or ping pong or whatever, dude. Wii Sports Resort, We Play, dude.
Remember the Papa Shot
Oh,
joint?
dude, you know what we do on the We Play though. I just gotta tee this up for you, bro. I can't even speak on it.
Lord have mercy. Everybody watch out. That's all I gotta say. Because listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's a shame streaming wasn't invented back whenever the hell this was, because
So true.
Wii Tanks,
One of the greatest games ever created.
if I had the ability to get on streaming for Wii Tanks,
Mm-hmm.
we wouldn't be doing a podcast right now. Well,
No,
we
we
probably
would have made
would,
it.
but with a little bit more follow, but the fans
Maybe,
wouldn't be on the ceiling. You know what I'm saying?
maybe,
So
maybe.
that's just the way it goes. But Wii Tanks, to be a side piece game, We Play had all those little mini games, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
for Wii Tanks
You
to
could
be a
ride the
little mini
cow.
game, oh no, the cow joint though, nah, that was fire. The cow
We
race
pl-
was fire. But
we
you
play
could
had a
play the
lot of
cow
good
race
ones.
4 or 5 times. You could go fishing 2 or 3
Sure,
times. Wii
sure.
Tanks,
Or you could go over and over and over again.
that's the original TikTok, bro. That is, but the simplest game on planet Earth, the most difficult game
Hmm.
you will play,
For sure.
Wii Tanks. For those, man, you might be able to explain the rules better.
All
Uh,
right, so I'll jump in on the rules a little bit because, folks, if you couldn't tell, we're not speaking of the Wii and Wii tanks as if it's past tense. This is present. This is
mm,
present day for
yeah,
us still.
right, right.
Quite
Yeah, we
so
might have
quite
played this the other day,
quite
i.e.,
frank
2 days ago. That's
quite
okay.
frankly, I think this past Saturday we were on the Wii Tanks for quite a while there. So the objective of Wii Tanks, right? There's two ways you could play. You could do single player or you can do
Right,
multiplayer. The
correct,
objective overall is pretty simple, right? You control one tank, and then there are bot tanks, there are computer tanks, and the different color tanks have different like abilities that they can do. Some of them lay mines,
correct,
some of them shoot
correct.
rockets, some of them move faster,
Yeah,
whatever
watch
it
out.
is. Some of them don't move at all. We're going to get to that. But the objective is to take out all of the computer tanks and survive. So that's how the single player version goes. The multiplayer version, the rules, quote unquote, is that it's player one versus player two, and which one of us can
Right,
take out more computer tanks. It tallies up the score. That player one exploded this many tanks, player two got this many. But
sure.
we take a different approach. But I'm going to let Nick speak on it because he's the one who pioneered
But
this
but the other,
method.
the other factor to that is hey, you go play Call of Duty, and you got a
Hmm.
teammate next to you, and you shoot him in the face, still stands.
True.
In real
Fr-
world, in
friendly
the real
fire.
world, that doesn't count. We tanks represents life, man. I mean, we
True.
tanks, friendly fire doesn't exist. You can get shot by your friend. So you're trying to beat all 20 levels. And we're also trying to compete against each other. But if I shoot Todd, we have a very limited chance of beating a level. So you have to come together. So it teaches kids, hey, you could be the MVP or you could win the championship. What are you going to do?
Obviously, we choose to win championships around here.
Oh, we're anti-Mets when we play Wii Tanks. We win championships. Okay,
That's right.
Not that the Mets have ever won an MVP either, so that was a bad example. But wow, that was sad.
It's okay.
I had to take a
We'll
second
cover the
for
Mets
that.
another time. We'll cover the Mets
That's
another
okay.
time. It's okay. It's okay.
God damn it.
So this past
happier
weekend, though,
subject right now.
this
But
past
Wii Tanks.
on Saturday, all right, what do? We get home from the bar.
You had to save
We
that.
were
You had to save
we were hanging out. It's all good. I got you. We were hanging out at the bar. We had a bunch of people together. What do? After we had a few drinks, we go pick up some dinner.
Right.
We go back home.
Mm.
Right.
Heard
We
that.
sit on the couch. We fire up Wii Tanks.
Felt that.
How many tries does
Correct.
it take
Why
us
not?
to win the championship? Not one, unfortunately.
20
It
levels.
wasn't
20 levels,
20
folks.
levels. Right. This means we got to get through 20 levels in unison, like we said, because we're trying to win championships here. We got to beat 20 levels. And so we sit down on the first try. I think we get to like level 14. Not our best showing. Quite frankly, Nick and I, when we sit down for tanks, we're usually a lock to get to at least level 18. But it's a matter of getting through 18, 19, and 20. And that's when the challenge really comes in.
17's a tough one.
17's a tricky
got
one.
the bouncy rockets, man. 17's got
They
the
do.
bouncy rockets with the.
They
with
do,
the,
but the
what is that?
strategy,
1, 2,
if
3,
you
4,
got the
5, 6,
strategy,
6 of them green tanks.
if you got the strategy, you can make it work. So either way, we sit down, right? Not
Well,
first try, unfortunately.
yeah.
But on the second try, after getting back from the bar, after getting some dinner in us, we sit down and we win the championship.
Right. I mean, the strategy, if you got strategy, it's always going to work. But the deal is, the tanks are not always going to the same spot.
No,
They don't always do
little
the same thing. You
little
can't
unpredictable.
You can't always plan. It's an unpredictable event, right? So you have to be able to adjust on the fly and be able to make that happen. And you might get got. And if you get got, someone has to clutch up. And that's just the way it goes. That's part of the game. And if you mess up and you lose, well, your ass is taking a shot of Kraken. I don't know what
True.
else you want me to say. But
We also institute punishments in our version of tanks. So that's
But
just how it goes.
I got a problem.
Ooh.
You know, Todd, you haven't been allowing me to do a WD-40 section here in a little while. So I'm going to bring out a WD-40 here because I got something to say. And anyone who's ever played Wii Tanks with me will know what this WD-40 is about. Because I'm talking, folks, about the Mission 3 staple, the most unloyal tank in the game. And that is Carmelo.
Dude. He's such a bitch.
That is Carmelo. See, Carmelo, folks, it only shoots one bullet and he stands right there. He's the easiest tank in the game. But you can't shoot Carmelo. You have to lay a mine and blow Carmelo up. And Carmelo isn't always working with you well. And I get upset at that because I don't like seeing him alive. Okay? I don't really wish death upon anyone except that tank.
That's right. Let's be clear for our dedicated listeners who are not familiar. That's all right. No, for our dedicated listeners who are not familiar with tanks, and this is their first time hearing of it, first of all, God bless your soul. Go buy a Wii and play tanks. Okay. Second of all, on level 3, especially if you're playing in the multiplayer, all right, you got two players, 1 and 2, and you're going up against 2 gray tanks. And these gray tanks, they start off in the corners and they move around a little bit, but they're a little slow and they shoot 1 bullet at a time. All right. And then there's a third tank on the level and he's hiding behind a wall. We call him Carmelo. Okay. Now, by the rules of the game, could you just shoot Carmelo because he doesn't move? You could. But where's the fun in that? So this is why we lay mines. Okay. There's 2 ways that you can take out a tank. You can either shoot him or you can blow him up. So Carmelo, because he doesn't move and because he's a bitch.
Not necessarily true.
What am I missing? They could
There's a
shoot
third way,
themselves.
folks. Assisted suicide.
Yeah. So that's what we try to do with Carmelo.
Yes.
So with Carmelo,
We like to
we
carry him into the next world.
right, we bring him a present, usually in the form of a yellow mine on the ground, and then we gently guide him in the direction of
Right.
his present.
Support his journey to the 6 feet under realm. You
That's
know?
right. But
Right.
occasionally,
And then we move
this
on.
bitch will fire a
Right.
shot and kill one of your
Oh, he
homies.
will. Oh, he will. He will. And if he does, then you better spray 5 on his ass immediately.
That's
I don't
right.
want to see him around. Yep.
Uh-uh.
All bets go off. The moment he shoots you, you just spray.
Nah.
It's
Exactly.
over. Carmelo, calm down.
So with that, that is why we hate Carmelo. Because he's a bitch, because he's unloyal, because he doesn't
Most
appreciate the present
unpredictable.
that we give him.
Right.
Every level 3, we give him the same present, and he is ungrateful for it.
You know what Carmelo's like? Imagine if you had like a kid. You know what I'm saying? And your kid really wanted, what'd you call this video game? The next player?
The next
Next
playground.
playground?
Yeah.
The next play. Your kid really wanted the next playground. So you went out and bought him the next playground. And then they looked at it, they opened it up, and they said, "No, I don't really want this." That's Carmelo.
True. It's very
Every
true.
time. And
So,
that it's disrespectful. So
it is.
that grinds my gears.
So
And
you
that's
had
my
every
WD
right.
40 of the week is
You had
Carmelo.
every right to bring out the WD-40 for that.
Thank you.
Absolutely every right. I hear you. But with that, that actually brings
Appreciate
us
it.
to something else that we were doing this past weekend as you
Thank
and I
you.
were hanging out on
Yep.
Saturday. After,
Okay.
might I mention to all of our dedicated listeners, first of all, let's clap. Let's congratulate the boy. Sub 2 hour half marathon in Central Park this
Thank you,
past
man.
Saturday morning.
There was a
Absolutely
funeral this weekend.
hell of a
There
feat.
was.
That
Funeral
there
for the
was.
sub twos, folks.
That's right.
Had to do it to him. But thank you. Yeah, shout out to you for and LB for coming out,
Mm-hmm.
supporting. Drew a little
We
sign.
were we were
You
there.
know,
Yeah,
it
we
was a
had the sign.
motivation on mile 12. I was not feeling good. When I saw Todd and LB in Central Park, that wasn't the best showing of my life. I was
Well,
hurt.
hey, no
That's
matter
all
how
right
bad you
though.
were hurting on mile 12 there, you did it, you finished it. And luckily, for us, for you, after putting in all that hard work, kind of earned ourselves a good afternoon of relaxation, of hanging out.
Yes, sir.
And so after the marathon, the half marathon, we get back, get all cleaned up, how it goes, get some lunch in us, all good. And then for our fans who may not know, not only do we have Christmas coming up in about a week or so, a little more, just coming up before then though, Nicky Nicknames here is going to turn 27. We got a big birthday this upcoming Friday. So with that,
Yeah.
I had to gift the boy his presents for the birthday, for Christmas, before he heads back home to Seattle for the next week or so. So that, ladies and gentlemen, long-winded way of taking us to our spins and flips section based on the events that
Spins and
transpired
flips
this past
sections.
weekend.
Yes, sir. Now look, folks, I didn't come prepared. I gotta go grab them off my shelf real quick, but I'm gonna get y'all right. And you already know what it is. Because, well, T, you can explain it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
We have a slight variation in difference between genres per se.
Yeah,
How
our
do we how
tastes
do
and
we
our
you know
tastes in music vary a little bit. I think that's what you're getting
right.
at. So for me
Right.
personally, now I will say I like to listen to all types of music, but if I had to pick what is the genre that I default back to the most, depending on who you're talking to, especially where I grew up in the country and going to college and all this, it was a fairly unpopular take that I listened to a lot of country music. My good friend Nick here, very big fan of hip hop, rap, R&B, all that type of good music, right? So I have total respect for the genre. I enjoy listening to it too, but it's just not my forte. I certainly don't know it nearly as well as Nicky nicknames over here. So with that, his birthday and Christmas presents for the year, I think I covered both genres pretty well, if I do say so myself.
That's fair. That is fair. First album, folks, that has been spinning. This is from the man himself. It's that new
There it
Post
is.
Malone right here. This is that F1 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
Post Malone, he's kind of doing what the album's doing, I guess, in a sense. But rapper turned country artist.
Mm.
Weird, weird situation, but given where he's from, Texas, and all that, kind of makes sense. This album though is very feature heavy. He pretty much got all the heavy hitters on in country to hop on this project. But it's got some pop songs on here that's gonna really induce that carryover. But this is not like a rapper hopping on with country singers. Post is singing country music. This
Mm-hmm.
is by no means a rap album. So hey, look, I can always go in depth on a project, but Todd, you probably can talk about this even better than I can. So I'm gonna let you go off real quick.
Yeah, I mean, so like you were saying there, Nick, this is Post Malone making a true modern day country album, right? So I emphasize modern day for an important point because the country music of today, of the 2020s, is very different from the country music of the early 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, and going further and further back in time. A lot of the kind of country purists who were listening to the 80s, 90s, early 2000s country would probably not view this project from Post Malone as country music. It's definitely more of like a country pop in a way, kind of similar
Right,
to
right.
how Cowboy Carter came out not too long ago as well. It's kind of country
Sure.
pop where it's very modern music. It's very upbeat, but it's got a little twang to it in the accent. And I know this is something that Nick and I speak about a lot when it comes to having conversations and discourse around music itself, is that the formula for a country song is pretty straightforward. I mean, an
Simple.
in, you've got an intro, verse, a chorus, a second verse, a chorus. You might have a third verse. You might just repeat the chorus a third time and then the song's over. And the whole intention of that is to be able to hear the song once, pick up on the kind of the key words, and be able to sing along before the song's even over, even if it's your first time hearing it. So it's kind of a genre that allows you to get yourself immersed in the music pretty quickly, pretty easily. And so that's exactly what Post Malone did. Like I said, from Texas. So he is a country boy at heart in a way. He's always had country in his
Hey,
roots.
but born in Syracuse, got to give a shout out.
That's right. Born in
315.
Syracuse, New York, the 315, but he grew up in Texas. And so he wanted to go back to those roots, to the music that he grew up surrounded by while where he was growing up. And so that's where F1 Trillion comes from. Like you said, very feature heavy. Got some of the biggest names in country music on there, the likes of Morgan Wallen and Luke Combs and,
Right.
you know, Blake
Shelton,
Shelton, all the other big
Dolly
guys that have been
Parton,
out there.
Paisley,
Do- exactly. He really covered all the bases with
Stapleton.
everyone he got featured on here. So it's a good project, and like I said, I think it's a good way to bridge the two genres and bring those two crowds of people together.
Also, look at it. I mean, I guess the people listening on the podcast, you can't see this cover right here, but it's a car perpendicular to the water, which doesn't make any
Hmm.
sense. Looks like it's a CGI edit, but that's actually a real photo. Pretty interesting process how they captured the cover art for this. So
Took the
you got a
truck.
visual. Take a look at that.
They took the truck, hung it off a crane, basically, grabbed it on
Right.
by the trailer hook on the back of the truck, and literally dropped it into a lake. And they, snapped the high speed photos on the way down, and that's the lovely cover art that you're looking at there.
Pretty crazy. They had to do it to him.
They
But
had to.
T, you took a turn on this next record that you got,
Mm.
which
So with the second one, I'll jump in real
you
quick. I
know,
got to give all the credit to my girlfriend. This was all
yes,
LB. She did a phenomenal job finding this. She was very proactive with her actions on this one. I got to give her all the flowers, all the credit in the world here because she produced quite possibly, I don't think Nick ever could have guessed that this was going to be the second record that came out of that box.
I never would have imagined ever talking about this album that ever
Mhm.
Just a general ever, but especially on this podcast. This is the latest Drake project that came out this year with Party Next Door. As some people might know, Some Sexy Songs for You is the name of the title. At
74 personal minutes.
74 personalized minutes is the slogan.
The
I
subtitle?
That's all you need to know. That's really all you need to know is this right here. This album is absolutely ridiculous. I love the story from LB and how she found it too, where it was like an Amazon showroom, right? And they
Yeah.
give away the products afterwards because well, you could probably explain better than me, but obviously her main client is Amazon. Um, and then the showroom has a bunch of products in it, and when it's done, they allow the different people working at the company to take whatever products there are. And she was telling me how this album was sitting there for weeks because nobody wanted it, which is so funny to me. Um, and then she ended up taking it, which you probably know the backstory better, so I'll let you go off on that. But I just
No,
thought that
no,
was
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, you covered it exactly, right? So Amazon does these kind of showcase rooms ahead of the holidays, especially. They stock them up, stage them with different furniture, different products. They put all the Amazon Alexas in there and whatever it may be. I got one. I make sure she didn't just light up on me. Now we're good.
Hmm.
Um,
You got to watch out. Always
so
listening.
they got all the product in there, and yeah, so they in one of the showrooms they had this record kind of up on the shelf as a decoration, whatever it was. Gets brought back to the office, and nobody took it. Now, quite frankly, I don't know.
Imagine putting this for decoration is crazy.
So I don't know though. I got to be honest. I don't know if the reason that nobody took it is because they're not interested in the project. I think a lot of people just probably don't have vinyl record players as
Yeah,
much
that's
as you
also
once
true.
would have. So it's kind of a niche thing to be able to take home and actually be able to put to use other than say hanging it on a wall, which you don't really want to do. So
That is
you
true.
having the setup that you have, being able to actually spin some donuts, as we like to say,
Yes, sir.
figure there was no better home for this record to go to next than
There's not.
Nicky
It
Nicknames.
will be loved like all the others. It is just so funny to me. I will make an argument though. I bet if F1 Trillion was the album in the Amazon showroom, it would have been gone.
I don't
I
know.
have
I
an
really
inkling.
don't
I have an
know.
inkling,
I,
bro. Well, it doesn't matter because now we'll never know. But it does make it funnier that no one ended up taking it, and now it's in my hands.
mhm,
Some 74 right here on the barcode. 74 personal minutes for you folks.
that's
You know,
right.
Drake and Party Next Door really just knew that you were going to be listening to this album and decided to dedicate
Mhm,
it directly to you. The
absolutely.
big banger on this obviously is Nokia, which is just an absolutely hilarious song as well. But you know how it goes down. This is some real Toronto right here. This is some real
Very real.
real Toronto R&B.
Oh
Come on
yeah.
now, who can hate 2025's finest?
That's one way to put it.
I love it.
That's
I love it.
that's
All right,
definitely one way to put it.
that is a huge thank you to Todd and Elby. Those were two of the presents, which was awesome. I have some more for the spins and flips sections. I got some honorable mentions that I've had these records. One I actually don't have, but I want to give a shout out to uh, two main guys in the rap scene that are coming up right now. And
Mhm.
first and foremost, Memphis, Tennessee. Okay, you already know what it is.
There it
Shiesty
is.
season returns. Imagine you could choose any name to become a rapper, and you chose Pooh Shiesty. We'll move on from there. This
It was a
cover is
bold
absolutely
choice.
ridiculous. The Roblox cover, yeah, no. And this album is god awful. I found this for like $6 at Urban Outfitters, and I just thought that was way too funny to pass up. So had to pull. If you're really interested, Back in Blood and Guard Up, tracks 2 and 3. That's pretty much the entire album. That's all you really got to know. But yeah, Pooh Shiesty's back. He was in jail and he just got released. So I'm intrigued to see what the next project will be from Pooh Shiesty. Are we going to get Shiesty season 2? This is Shiesty
Mhm.
season. So who knows? But shout out Pooh Shiesty. On that realm, is he on here? Yes, he is. On track 8, Box of Churches, of course, is featuring 21 Savage. 21
Mm,
Savage just released a new album this week. I don't
you
have that on
did.
vinyl. But I just wanted to give a shout out to the 21 Savage. I listened to it. It's awful. But I wanted to bring up something about 21 Savage. And that's
tell me.
why I talk about 21. See, y'all remember when we were younger, there was that meme where the kid was like 21.
What's 9 plus 10?
Yeah, right. 21. And he like
You
answers it
stupid.
wrong. But everyone was quoting that.
That's right.
Everyone quoted. And then
The
the
number
moment you heard the
19
number 21.
Well,
Right.
yeah, I would say the number 19 basically stopped existing because 9 plus 10 equaled 21. And that's just how it was for like
21.
3 years.
And it was funny based on the way the kid says it. It's just brain
Mhm.
rot video, but 21. It's like Charlie bit my finger, but 21. Here's the deal. That kid was saved, bro.
He was.
That kid was saved because 21 Savage decided to exist.
Yeah.
Whenever you think of 21 now, you don't think of 21. You think of 21.
Right.
21. 21. 21. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
You just think of 21 Savage now. He's literally changed the meme. He's ended the meme. 21
if I'm not
Savage has
mistaken-
ended the meme.
and if I'm not mistaken, Nick, what did we rename your Wi-Fi network to?
Well, I named myself 31 Savage, obviously
That's
due
right.
to my combo with the number 31.
We got 31
and I had to
retired,
give a
but it's
shout out
also 21.
to 21. 21. 21. It's
So,
crazy. I just would never.
You're absolutely right.
It was so like anytime anyone said 21, everyone would just freak out. 21, 21. Like everyone said the meme. And now no one does that. And I really think that was because of 21 Savage. And I find that so fascinating. New album, by the way. The meme might be coming back because the new album wasn't not good on first listen. I will say that much.
All right, I'll have to give it a
That's it.
listen because
But-
I'm
but
not.
I
I'm
do-
not on the
I
pulse the
do
way that
shout
you
out
are.
21 Savage, but well,
I'm not on
his
the-
last
on the
two
new
projects,
pulse.
I Am, American Dream. Oh, and what was the joint? I have that on vinyl, the one with Metro Boomin there.
Mm,
Those are the projects right there. You know what I'm saying? So
those
21,
are some good ones.
I think 21 is a very good rapper, and he has a future. I just don't know. He's got to evolve a bit, and I don't know what was going to go down. Savage Mode, that was what I was thinking of. Savage Mode
Sure.
2 with Morgan Freeman on the in the interludes. Spell that right.
NTRLD.
This is a beautiful project. You just got to respect 21. I just think that's awesome. But that's all I have to say for the spin section.
Well, hey, I will say the spins and flips section does take us very nicely to our fan mail section for this week. So
Oh, yes. Yes, I saw this one.
this is
I
a
can
good
read
one,
this one
folks.
off if you'd like.
I think I would like for you to read this one off, but first allow me to say that the asker of this week's question got a pretty profound shout out on last week's episode, so much so that interlude got noticed, and I think we need to take a moment to appreciate that. Like interlude
true.
was truly seen by this iconic individual, so much so that they decided to ask us a question of the week. So with that, I give it
Right.
over to you.
Last week, folks, I don't know if you remember, but we kind of have this whole like holiday theme going on since we're in December and whatnot, and we were debating kind of top Christmas shows or Christmas movies. I forget how we called it, and I don't know if anybody remembers, but my top Christmas movie, and I will stand on this, is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and probably the most iconic character in all holiday film, Mr. Yukon Cornelius. And I'm humbled by to another level. Okay, I never thought that this would be possible. I never thought I would say this out loud. Yukon Cornelius has asked the next fan mail question. He really added interlude media, spelled it right, NTRLD_media, and wants to know something, folks. And Mr. Yukon Cornelius, well, I can't really do it justice, but I'll read what he said, hopefully to the best possible way that I can. And it went a little something like this.
Yukon Cornelius, I have a question for the interlude media. Mount Rushmore of Christmas song.
Ah, what a fantastic question from our good friend, Yukon Cornelius.
Yes, sir.
That's a tough one, dude. I mean, to your point, we have had a little bit of a holiday theme going. First, we had our Thanksgiving episode, and since then, we've been talking about different Christmas stuff, from the Rockefeller tree lighting to our favorite Christmas movies, and now to some of our favorite Christmas music. Um, that's a really good question coming out of Yukon here. I gotta say, gut reactions here, because I did not prepare a Mount Rushmore list ahead of time. Gut reactions here, though, as we said, I like to listen to a good bit of country music. And I also understand, I have come to appreciate a lot of people's arguments that country is a genre for the summertime. And I see you. I agree with you in a lot of ways. Country is
Felt
very
that.
much that you're riding in the car, windows down, road trip, and you're on the beach. Country makes a ton of sense in that setting.
I put two and two together. That's why you like mowing the lawn. That's why you like mowing the lawn, because you just sit there and I got
don't
my
put the-
tractor.
I don't put the headphones
I
in.
drink that, and
I don't
that's
I
what
don't
they
put
talk
the
about, bro.
headphones
They
in,
talk about
but
mowing
you're
the
right.
lawn.
They absolutely do. You could take another ride on my big green tractor whenever you want, Nick. Don't you worry about it. Me and Jason Aldean, we'll hold it down. Don't worry about that. But
That's
so
actually
on
a
that
song. I
same
was making that up.
on that same topic though, in the wintertime, it's a little bit harder to come across good country music that's going to fit the vibe, that's going to fit the mood. It gets dark out early. You know, a lot of country music is about being outside, drinking beer, sunsets, all that
Right.
stuff, right? And you don't really get to enjoy that as much in the wintertime. But there is a whole subset of country Christmas music. So it puts
Okay.
the two and two together. And now, yes, there are lots of
I don't know
country
about
artists. There are
This is
lots
like
of
two of
country
my
artists.
least favorite genres.
Sure, maybe that's what you think. But when the country artists take the themes of Christmas music, but they don't just do covers of the same old Christmas songs. Now, sure, yeah, you can find your covers of the classics.
Wait a minute. If you can't mow your grass in the winter, does it become snowblow?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Can you ride my snowblower? Is it something like that right there?
Well, that's not how the songs go. As I mentioned, a lot of the summertime country songs are about being outside, drinking
Podcast
beer.
as a service.
No, I hear you. I hear you. We are a
creating
podcast
some
as a
things.
service. So what these songs are about, though, you unfortunately have to give up the tractor, but you never give up the alcohol. You never give up the drinking. All right, so two of the best songs that we got. All right, two of the first ones that come to
Okay.
my mind, at least. All right, we got
Yeah.
Lit This Year by Florida Georgia Line. Now, unfortunately, Florida Georgia Line, two of them boys have broken up. They've been making music on their own. That's okay. Tyler Hubbard doing great on his own. Good for you, bro. But they got this song called Lit This Year.
You
And
talked to him like
basically-
you knew him.
Me and Tyler are boys. You didn't know that? The lyrics of the song, though, are saying that, that Christmas tree ain't the only thing getting lit this year. We got old camp in the eggnog. Pawpaw's sneaking the flask in the pantry, dude.
Hey, watch out.
Minnie's nodding off again because she's been drinking too much. So that is one of my favorite. It's just such a funny Christmas song. Any of our, very tuned in listeners and particularly social media viewers may have noticed on one of our Christmas tree posts recently.
Yeah.
That was in fact the caption that the Christmas tree ain't the only thing getting lit this year. And like I said, the alcohol just, it doesn't go away. It doesn't go away.
Ray kid over here.
Ray Lynn is another kind of up and coming country artist. She's a bit younger, newer to the scene, but she's got a song that's called Jingle Bell Drunk, saying that we're getting Jingle Bell Drunk this Christmas. Those songs,
These sound like awful themes, man.
So they sound awful, but in the grand scheme of things, when you've been listening to the same the same Christmas songs over and over and over again, year after year after year, you get to introduce these new ones, and they lighten the mood a little bit. They catch your ear if you're ever at like a family party and it's just playing in the background, and all of a sudden you hear something that doesn't sound like the others, and it perks you up a little bit. And I mean, I will say, my family, we are the type that we like to drink at the holidays. You have the siblings and around the table. We're hanging out, and we do spike our eggnog at the Christmas Eve table. Okay,
You put old camp in the eggnog.
We put the old camp in the eggnog.
Absinthe in the eggnog.
You can not absinthe. I ain't
Shit.
messing with that. You can put some
The
SoCo in the
Sambuc,
eggnog though if you want
the little
to.
Sambuc.
I'll put the Sambuca in the espresso. Oh, absolutely. So we're drinking around the holidays. Another one that gets a shout out for me on the Mount Rushmore list here. This is a pretty new one from Lee Bryce. It's Santa Claus was my Uber driver last night.
Oh Lord.
Very modern take on it. It's funny enough, if you listen to the story of the song, it's actually taking place in the summertime because it's Santa Claus when
Australian?
he's no. We're down in like South Carolina here. We're in the US. But Santa Claus, he's got to work so hard over the wintertime. He's making his list, he's checking it
Oh,
twice, he's got to deliver all the presents. So in the summertime, when Santa's on vacation, he's down on the beach. He was an Uber driver. He's playing the drums in a 90s cover band. He's living his best life in the summertime.
I see.
So
I see. This is off season Santa.
exactly. But it's about Santa, so I play it at Christmas time. I wouldn't
But
play
yeah,
that
yeah.
song in the summer. I don't think it would hit quite as well. So
No, yeah. Too many tractors, man.
that's right. You got a lot of
Can't play
tractors
that
that
in the
got to tend
summer.
to. Nah, you got to tend to the
Right.
fields. There's a lot going on in the summertime.
Oh Lord. All right.
Yeah, I don't know
Well,
where you
me.
want to go. I don't know where you want to go after that one.
Listen. First and foremost, why don't we name our kids Yukon anymore? Okay, just Yukon Cornelia. I'm still not over the name. Just a beautiful name. I would love to meet your parents, Mr. Yukon. So thank you for asking this question. But I do have a Mount Rushmore prepared for you because I knew I read your question earlier today. First song that I would put on my Mount Rushmore. No order here. Okay, of 1 through 4. Okay, but first song, the Saint Bricks intro by Gucci Mane on the album The Return of East Atlanta Santa.
That's
I
right.
think everyone, hey, he takes the Jingle Bell beat, Mr. Zaytoven, the producer, and puts the trap drums on it, and then
Sure.
Gucci Mane. I don't know what's going down. I just like the fact that Gucci Mane is Santa Claus. Because imagine if Santa Claus had a big ass tattoo of an ice cream cone right here. Like
Yeah.
that's good to me.
I
I
mean, I
like
think
that. Like it's supposed to be sweet.
Santa
Okay.
very well might have that tattoo, but in the wintertime, you can't see it under the beard, right? But if he shaves it off, who
Right.
knows what's
True.
down under there?
True. So the return of East Atlanta Santa. I'm glad you're back. Okay. We're glad you're back, East Atlanta Santa. So the St. Bricks intro, just going crazy over the Jingle Bells beat. I think 3, this is a classic. I don't even think it matters. Any of them Charlie Brown songs. Charlie Brown's got bop. Okay.
Charlie Brown
And
Christmas.
hey, when they bring in the whole choir and the joint, oh, the herald angels sing, like that shit go crazy. So I just gotta say,
they do a good
they
job.
have a little something going on over there. Okay. So Charlie Brown and them. The third one, this one though, it's a little up there, but I think you have to pay respect to this song. Not everyone's gonna know it, but as an Italian, you should. And that's Dominic the Italian Christmas donkey.
Oh, clickety click eon eon.
That's what I'm saying. Because
Hell yeah.
them broke ass reindeers couldn't climb the hills of Sicily. Hey, jiggity
No.
ching. Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Dominic the
That's just a
donkey.
bop.
That
That
song
is a
goes.
bop. I don't care
You're
what time
right.
of year
That's
it
a
is.
deep cut.
That's a bop.
And that's a deep
That's a
cut.
bop.
There may not be a lot of people who know that song, but that's a good one right there.
Hey,
Every Italian
look,
household
you
knows
gotta
that
play
one.
it. You gotta play it. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I said there's no order here. There is the greatest Christmas song ever made. There just is. I don't care what anybody says there is. And that, of course, would be the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer trap remix by none other than Middle C. And if you dare add an E at the end of middle, then you better get shit out of here. You never heard
Frankie Flash.
the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Middle C trap remix, actually released on One Time Productions' first album, but this is a Middle C song. This right here is the greatest song you've ever heard. Hey, you'll play.
Folks.
What's they talking about? It's just that Rudolph song, and it's like Rudolph the bang, and then you wait when the gunshots go off. You never felt that Rudolph and gunshots go together until you hear this,
No.
and then you're
Yeah,
gonna
you
come to
gotta
me and say,
listen.
"Oh, Nick D's got a really good point. Nick D has a really good point." Because see, I see you, Dominic, and you all claiming that them, the reindeer can't get over the hills. But I'll tell you one thing: you bring out the shoddy, and those reindeers are in the sky. So
That's right.
it's game over. Middle C has this on wraps as far as I'm concerned. So, Mr. Yukon Cornelius, I hope that answers your question. But that's the Rushmore. That is the Rushmore. I don't think
For all you listeners out there who
comparison.
don't know,
Florida Georgia line.
hey, listen. Don't sleep on the country Christmas music, but I think you make a very fair point. So for all of our listeners out there who don't know, whether you're listening to us on Apple or on Spotify or on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts, one place you got to go visit is SoundCloud because
No.
you got to hear this one if you haven't already. But with that, folks, I think we've covered, even though I botched the agenda at the top of the episode here, I think we covered everything that we needed to get to. So I think that takes us to one last item, which is, as always,
That's
Nicky
true.
Nickname's parting inspiration.
I got a little something here. I got an interesting story for the folks. I think last week we talked about kind of the bowl games, college football going down and all that. But I got a little interesting story about that, and it has nothing really to do with the football. But check me out. So I'm an only child. People know about that, but I do have cousins. So on my mom's side, I have two cousins who are twins, right? Boy and
That's
girl
how it
twins.
works.
Their names are Brennan and Shannon. They are 5 years older than I am, so shout out them, right? And I don't know if this was the first year that they were in school or whatnot, but they were from the Seattle area as well. So shout out the Pacific Northwest, the upper left. We all grew up out there. The two of them went to college, respectfully, in Indiana and James Madison University. Okay. So my cousin Brendan went to Indiana, and Shannon went down to James Madison.
Sure.
James Madison, it's not much of a sports school, let's say, on the
No.
national presence. Not compared to Indiana basketball, right? Indiana basketball is a big deal. So
Sure.
when they were in college, James Madison, I don't know if it was the first time or what, but they ended up making the NCAA tournament. And it was a big deal. They won the conference championship, whatever. They weren't good, though. They go in as a 12 seed. And who do they draw first round? They draw one-seeded Indiana. Chances of that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they couldn't
Chance
have
of
been
going
the
in
one.
as a 1 and 12 seed.
Either way.
That's what it was. Indiana had a good year that year. It was like Victor Oladipo and them.
Ooh,
So
okay,
they go
okay,
in, and
okay.
that was it.
Sure.
They played each other. I mean, granted, Indiana blows them out. It wasn't really a competition, but boom. Now, folks, here's where it gets interesting. We got the college football playoffs, and y'all probably already know where I'm going with this. Indiana goes in as the 1 seed. And I think they are the 12 seed. Yeah, JMU comes in as a
JMU,
12
they are the
seed. So we're
12.
repeating history. But here's the deal. They're not in college anymore. But my cousin Brennan just got married last month, and my cousin Shannon's getting
Congratulations.
married next month.
Congratulations.
So not next month, next year. Sorry, I should say next year. So next summer. Because you don't get married in Seattle unless it's the summer. So, hey, respect. But look at that. The year they're getting married, both schools go into now the football playoff, which the playoff didn't even exist until, last year? The main one with all 12 teams. And who would have thought JMU going?
Crazy.
JMU probably had a better shot of making the playoff than Indiana ever had. Indiana was never a football school, and to go in as a number 1 overall seed with JMU making it all because of a fumble with Notre Dame, Miami, and Duke.
Yeah,
Virginia,
that was all,
you name it. The ACC
obviously,
just fumbling the bag.
The ACC
Crazy.
was a big part of how they got in, without a doubt. But I got to say, for both these programs, for Indiana and for JMU, on the Indiana front, congratulations, Fernando Mendoza took home the hardware. Fantastic. I think that's the first time anyone from Indiana has taken home the Heisman, so congratulations to him. But on that, both of those teams a huge reason why they had the amount of success that they did is because they brought in new coaches. And those coaches really, truly turned the program around. So I feel like you don't always see that, especially if you're talking at the professional sports level. You look at like a baseball team, for example, the manager, they set the lineup. All right, they decide the
Yeah, it's
substitutions.
also school though. You're recruiting,
So it is right.
and,
It's
and
the
we
school and it's
also
the
have to give a
recruitment.
shout out. Hey, Signetti, the Indiana head coach, guess where he was
Hmm.
before Indiana?
Tell the people.
He was the head coach over at JMU.
That's right.
He
And
came
so,
from
folks,
JMU, so that this is the replacement. It's just
it,
I don't know, just a crazy. It's weird how interconnected
JMU,
these two schools are, and they shouldn't be, but they're only connected because I obviously know two people who were brother and sister who
no,
went
but you
there.
bring up
But
some
I
interesting
love
points.
this. And my point is, if you're a betting person, I like the Dukes. I like
Well,
the
it's
Dukes this year.
interesting. Indiana's
Obviously I
got the
got
bye.
Indiana going all the way, but I
Indiana's
like the
got the
Dukes this
bye.
year.
The Dukes, the
I
12
don't even
seeded
know who the
Dukes, are
Dukes are
gonna
playing.
they're
Doesn't
gonna
matter.
be playing the
JMU.
5 seed.
Book it. Book it.
Hey,
Is that
listen,
Oregon?
I think that's Oregon this year. Yeah. So
Mm,
there's the thing though.
watch
It's
out.
it's all about the coaches, right? And so the coach at JMU this season, a man by the name of Bob Chesney. I don't want to say I know him, right? But Bob Chesney was my brother's football coach at Division III Salve Regina
How about that?
back in the day. And so Bob Chesney, he had a goal for himself that he wanted to make it to the top of the mountain. He started out in D3 Salve Regina. He moved to D2 Assumption. Then he moved to 1AA Holy Cross. And now he went to JMU, which was a proper D1 school, at least a step above the 1AA. They have a phenomenal season. They make the college football playoff. At the end of this year, he's moving on to be the head coach of UCLA. He's just going to keep
Are they
climbing
letting
the
him
ladder.
coach?
I don't know what's happening in the bowl game. It's a good question. I think
Maybe
he
don't book the
is.
Dukes, folks. They're losing the coach. But look at this.
We got to look it
Crazy
up real quick,
connection.
folks. Real quick, folks, before the end of the episode. Let's find out.
I said, hey, book the over under then or something. The spread. I think the Dukes cover. No matter what goes down. There's too much on the line right now. Too much fate. What do they call it in sports? Destiny.
So the good
Too much
news.
adversity. They always say adversity.
The good news, yes, Bob Chesney will coach James Madison in their upcoming game against Oregon on December 20th.
We're good.
Bob Chesney
I don't know if
will
they
still
win,
be there. He's
but
going to
they'll
continue.
beat the spread.
Yeah, he's going to continue leading the Dukes through their playoff run while concurrently managing his new responsibilities at UCLA. He's not going anywhere. He's not letting these kids down. He's going to be there, and they're going to try to make history. So I'm with you. If you are a betting man or a betting woman, if you're on DraftKings or if you're on Polymarket, be on the lookout for the Dukes.
That's what I'm saying. Showtime. Was that Saturday game? Saturday?
That'll be Saturday. That's right, the 20th.
Put it in.
So
Put it in. There's my inspiration. So shout out Shannon and Brennan.
shout out.
Hey, let's go Hoosiers though. Hoosiers.
Well, thank you for your parting inspiration, Nick. I think, folks, that takes us to the end of the episode. It's been a pleasure, as always. We actually ran this one a little bit longer than I think we were even thinking that we were going to do on a day like today, but that's all right. This finally does, folks, conclude another episode of the Interlude Pod. That's Nikki D. I'm your co-host, Todd. We hope you enjoyed listening to this episode half as much as we enjoyed making it for you.
Because we had a ball, and we realized this is going to last. All that other bullshit is here today and gone tomorrow.
And with that, good night, Yukon Cornelius.
Good night, Connecticut.